11:16 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, Sunday, September 10th, 2023. Addressed to Don Terris. I'm looking at another computer screen where your video concerning about Disney parks announcements were embarrassing. And normally I keep track of, when I can, of WDW uh, website, well, actually YouTube site that gives me some information what's going on with the Disney parks. Granted, I haven't kept track of it because other things been happening these days. I hope you're doing okay, by the way, Don. No, I hadn't done the Star Trek Day because on my other videos, Don, it would be talking about, and I'm still loading them up right now, about how miserable the whole damn thing was for me. Not the experience of Star Trek Day. Actually, yeah, because of grieving mourning, and my channel is dealing with grieving and mourning and everything else. It was the day my brother passed away, 5 years ago. Yeah, sucks. So a special day to celebrate Trekkiness. I was crying my eyeballs out. Getting that off. Concerning about the Disney parks, yeah, they've lost sight. Even with Iger back, even with Iger back trying to make all the damn changes he can within this contracted time, I guess they lost all those creative people that actually had an idea what the hell they were going to be doing, but also they are dealing, Don, with the politics. If you have been following what's going on with Florida, it's been affecting Disney across the board a bit, I think. Now, to make one little clarification here, in Disneyland in Anaheim, they are limited. In fact, they were limited when they actually created their Disneyland. They were limited during those days. And it became more apparent because we have freeways, we have businesses, we have hotels surrounding that particular area. So they can't really introduce something new over at Disneyland. They don't have the space for it. They would have to go out and buy up other property around the area, doing an eminent domain in order to expand the park, dude. If you happen to look at Google Maps, go take a look. You got a cell phone or a computer? I'll wait for a few seconds here. Let's go to Google Maps, type in Disneyland. I'm still waiting. Okay, Don, you must have it up by now. I know Google Earth takes its time, but if you have a cell phone, Google Maps on a cell phone doesn't take all that much either, especially when you do the Wi-Fi on it. And you look at Disneyland and look at the area surrounding it. They took out a lot of good property and a lot of good things that they were doing originally just to put in Star Wars land. I mean, yeah, it looks great and everything else. But the thing is, me being a science fiction fan, I would have been going crazy over this damn thing, but I'm not. Disney had been something my family would have liked to go to, but adds more pain to it. We're getting up past this one here. What Disney Parks and what Disney Corporation is doing at this point. Spectrum out here in Southland for the cable. We lost our local news station. Can't get access to Channel 7, ABC News Los Angeles. Because they are owned by Spectrum, which is owned by Charter, which is owned by the Disney Corporation. And because, well, since we've got this, well, let's see, I don't think Spectrum was owned by Disney and Charter. I don't think they weren't owned by Disney. Okay, so I was wrong about that one. But they're having contract problems with them, and we just lost a lot of business, and we've lost a lot of channels I used to deal with on a constant basis. Now, if I want to keep track of what's going on with ABC7, I have to go to the computer and go to the website itself to see what the hell is going on. And Disney is playing hardball again. And here's the thing: my cable bills are going up because of this crap. They just jumped up. And now I got to pay more. And what about the bundle package I'm already paying for Hulu and Disney? That's going to be jumped up more because of this damn negotiations going on. So right now, Disney's not exactly being the favorite for me anyway. I used to. There was a friend of mine. Let me tell you a story. This just happens to deal with your territory. And I probably talked about it a lot on the videos, but hear me out, Don. My mother, when she was alive, she was a bookkeeping and income tax specialist. She ran it for about 20, 25 years. During that time, she saved this guy a lot of money, and he was a travel agent out in Encino, California. Bull Rush Travel. Her first name was Jerry. Never remember what his last name was. Anyway, that was a long time ago. He saved Ma. He gave Ma a present. He gave me and my brother a present. The picture that you see here in the background, the black and white, yeah. Around the same time, Mama was doing her business. Ma and a friend of hers went on a 10-day Mexican Riviera on board the former Sun Princess, now Scrap Metal, back in 2002. Oh, Don, have you seen the pictures of her? I'm not talking about my mom. I'm talking about the princess. Oh, Don. Oh, she was beautiful. She was beautiful. And why the hell did they have to turn her into scrap metal? She was beautiful. Gorgeous. The fun part about this one story is my mother gets a phone call from Jerry. He's excited. He saved a lot of money. He thanks her, thanks her, thanks her. And I got a cruise for you coming up tomorrow. I want to pay you. I'm going to pay you back for this one with a cruise. In fact, you and your brother are going to go on another cruise. Smaller one, but, I'm willing to pay for it with this refund money. But the rest of the charges you're still going to have to pay. Okay, fine. We got a credit card for that one during those days. Amon, Dave, and I went out shopping after we got the phone call and got clothes for her for 10 days. And at the same time, making phone calls to a friend of ours and telling her to get packed up. We're taking her out for a cruise. The family thought she was nuts and thought we were insane. But 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we rolled up to her house, actually to her apartment, got the stuff loaded up in our van, got her loaded up in the van. You know what the fun part is? Trying to call in sick on those days. Yeah, I was working during that time. We must have had about 2 or 3 hours of sleep. We must have, because we had to pack the closing up. We had to make sure everything else was right. And then we fell asleep for about 2 or 3 hours, woke up, scrambled like crazy to get the hell out. And we were rushing outside the door. Ma's on a scooter, so we had to tear the damn thing apart. Here we go. Ma's got everything she needs, including the charger for the scooter. And we go to the apartment where Dee was, our friend. And she's so excited, and we're traveling down the freeway. And I'm like, oh. Ma was giving us the details, me and Dave, what the hell was going on regarding the next cruise, because it was going to be in another month or two after that. It was going to be the brothers' attempt for a weekend over to ourselves. A rare thing in our lifetime sometimes. He was also a big Disney fanatic, but Disney had made so many changes over at the park in Disneyland that they weren't accommodating to the handicapped as much. They should have been, but they weren't. And he used to be an annual pass holder like we were. He didn't go anymore, but my brother and I continued to go on because we like Disneyland. We like the tchotchkes. We like the shopping. So did Ma. Long stories on those and other videos on that one. Continuing on with the cruising story, okay, Don? Sorry. Right after this, I'll be doing a video of my own, probably. So we get over to the Port of Los Angeles. We're getting over and we're seeing, as the car is nearing the berth, 92, and we see her. Sun's barely coming up. We got a lot of people outside. Actually, the sun was up, but we were seeing this gleaming white, pristine ship with an angled bow, a forecastle gleaming in the sunlight. The, the windows were capturing the sun in a way. Oh my God, she was gorgeous, Don. I had seen cruise ships before. I had watched The Love Boat so many damn times. I didn't think cruising was going to be part of my past right now, as it is. Seeing her, Don. I wish I had my suitcase packed. I wish I was going. But the paperwork was for +1, and Dee had her information. At the time, Dee didn't have any passports, but they were allowing birth certificates and driver's license as proof. And that's still allowed right now in Mexico, unless they've already changed the rules around. I wish I was going. I would have washed my clothing every single day just to stay on board that ship. It was the first time I ever been over to the Port of Los Angeles. Being a native of California, there are certain areas in California that I hadn't been to. Things happen. And I'd seen this. I'd seen how busy the place was. Of course, we had to have cash for tipping. Tippy, tip, 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 tip. That's a lot of tipping, I'll tell you. They had food trucks out there for breakfast. I didn't trust the snack bar inside. They had to wait until about 10:30, 11 o'clock before they would allow, but we had to still check in anyway. And then sit and wait and sit and wait and sit and wait. But Mama and Dee said, "No, you boys are going to be okay. I mean, yeah, we're going to be fine, Ma. We're glad to get rid of you for 10 days. We need the peace and quiet." And we're just ribbing her like crazy. She says, "That house better be cleaned, boys." No, she was meaning me. Dave didn't do much of housework except for vacuuming. Me, bathroom duty, kitchen duty, wash, laundry, everything else. Domesticated. Oh, we left. We left them over there when they were just getting announcements. The handicaps first would go in. Ma and Dee would go. Dee had a cane. Ma had her scooter. Two peas in a pod. Going up the gangway. I was still drooling over the damn ship. Don, I was heartbroken when they broke her. When they scrapped the crap out of her and made this other fallacy of a sun princess. The other one was, oh my God. I still cry on some occasions when I think about that ship. But a couple of months later, in August, July 31st through August 3rd, the weekend, the brother's turn this time. We still had our birth certificates. We still had the licenses. We didn't have the passports during those days. We should have. It would have been better. A lot cheaper to renew those damn things, that's for sure. So we went. The boys had our backpacks. No, not backpacks. Suitcases, one each, for the weekend, including another one, I guess, one for the formal occasion. I hated formal occasions. Still do. They had them back then. And they had the in-person muster drill. Believe it or not, I kind of missed the in-person muster drill, but they say it's a lot easier doing with with the techniques they got right now as it is. I'm not quite sure. Till I go back on a ship and see what goes on. They never like people walking around or just hanging around a certain area waiting to get mustered. But this was back then. And we see the old girl of the Royal Caribbean, Monarch of the Seas. Don, did you ever remember seeing this old girl of the Monarch of the Seas back then? Google search that one, my friend, and see the image of this ungainly beast. We arrived over at the port of Los Angeles. And during our journey from the San Fernando Valley all the way to the port of Los Angeles, we were listening to old time radio and we were listening to a comedy sketch that my brother and I were busting guts on. Red Skelton. He was doing Heathcliff and Gertrude, two seagulls. I can't find this skit anywhere. As much as I can remember it, it goes like this. Heathcliff, what is it, Gertrude? What do you see down there? And they're sitting on a perch and they're looking down at the docks and they see, what is that? Two dinghies and a dinghy. What they're saying is two workers in a dinghy right next to a dock. The audience in the background would laugh their heads off on this one. My brother and I, we laughed at the joke. He said it a lot better and a little bit more complete than I did. And my brother and I had parked in a lot across from the main area. It was still secured, still guarded. I left a CD player with a CD. I was going to listen to it while it was going to be a magical moment where the ship is moving and I'm listening to a soundtrack of music to it just to add to the ambiance. Shit. I screwed up on that one, my friend. Left it in the car. I got back, it was still in one piece, and so was the car. However, we're walking. We're walking towards the front of the berth where the ship's at. I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, oh my God, this is what Jerry's got us on here. Relax, John. It's going to be fun. I'm like, God damn, Dave, look at this thing. This is uglier than shit. This is the cruise ship? What the hell is this damn thing? John, take a look down there. Uh-huh, okay. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just looking at the cruise ship thinking, I'm excited about being on a cruise ship, but I swear she looked like an old broad. I mean, I hate to say this, Don. She's seen a lot of wear. And I looked at this ship, and I'm excited to be on a cruise ship because I've never been on a cruise ship before. But she just wasn't screaming to me like, hey, fellas, come here. Come here. Like the Sun Princess was just singing out a siren song, and I'm seeing this old maid here. I mean, oh man, I'm feeling it. I mean, it'll be excited to go on a cruise ship just to see what's going on, and I'm feeling like we got suckered. We get into cruise port. We get in, get our bags checked, tipped. We go upstairs, get the paperwork processed. We're sitting around and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting until they call. And then we crawl, and we go through the screenings, and we go on the gangway. Don, there are two berths over there. There's 93 and 92. 93 where the ship was at, including the Sun Princess, not 92. 92 is along the main drag, main causeway of the cruise port, heading over towards the ocean. But this was just a side pocket. That's where I saw the ship. Dave and I decided, okay, well, we're going to be doing investigations a little bit later on the ship just to see what's got to offer while we wait for our cabins to be available. So we go over to the Windjammer Cafe, which is on the top deck, and we're looking as we got our food and we're sitting down. And then the joke hits us hard. Remember the two seagulls? I wish to God I had a video camera. Actually, we did, and we lost the film on this one a long time ago. But we had a film on this one, Don. We filmed two seagulls on a perch watching two maintenance guys in a dinghy next to the dock doing some maintenance. And Dave goes, Heathcliff. I go, yes, Gertrude. What do you see down there? I don't know. What are they? Two dinghies in a dinghy. The visualization of the whole thing was the thing that got everyone else's attention. We had almost about 20 or 30 people lining up, getting their grub at the time. They're hearing two guys laughing their heads off, and they're coming over, what's the story? What's the story? And then we redo the joke again. These people have heard of Red Skelton. They were rolling. In fact, I think the joke passed throughout the ship. These two guys, maintenance guys, uh, working for the Port of Los Angeles, didn't even realize they were the butt of the joke. They didn't even realize that two passengers were looking at him originally through the windows of the Windjammer Cafe, reliving Red Skelton. Oh my God, Don. I think that was the most memorable thing of the whole trip was just that point. That was the icebreaker. That was the icebreaker. But I'll tell you something. After being on her just for even just about a day, you know, I was getting used to it. And by the time the cruise was ended, I wish we had more time on her. I hate to say it, and I'm going to apologize like crazy on this one. I'm sorry for labeling her an old broad, an old cruise ship, an old rust bucket. This lady had charms. She had charms. It killed me when they sold her off to another company, and then after that, to turn into scrap. Yeah, she'd been out there for about 20, 25, almost 30 years, I think, roughly during those times. The Royal Caribbean was only selling her about maybe about 10 to 15 years. I still have the old pictures of her and also of my brother and me sailing it. We still have some still pictures that we salvaged a long time ago. I still got to remake a video on this one. I'll have to do it soon. I can't find the other videos on my channel. Otherwise, I could send you a link on that. So I may have to redo the whole thing all myself and talk about the story. But, yeah. Don, that was the thing that got me into cruising so badly that I wanted to sail every single time, but I couldn't. I just bought all the magazines I could, different ships, different places. I got hooked real bad, but we couldn't afford it after that. Landlocked and did other things. Dave and I had spent about several New Year's Eves at Disneyland. We put Ma on Hawk. The last year we had. Oh God, she was furious. She was furious. We had a spending cap and we went above the damn thing. I don't blame her. I don't blame her a bit. But that was the last time my brother and I actually Had major fun. Not the cruise ship, but just going back over to Disneyland and doing stuff. It was about '06, '07. I just wanted to share some stuff with you. Currently, I am back in college again, trying to finish up in this community college. Normally, it's about 2.5 years. I've made this damn thing stretch out for 7 years. Well, a lot of things have happened, and I took 2 classes at a time. COVID kicks in, screws me over on that damn thing. My family kills over within the last 10 years. I mean, a lot of emotional baggage during those days. And right now, I'm getting through an English class and I'm getting through math for liberal arts. Don't try figuring this thing out. It'll drive you insane. English was for critical thinking and literature, and we are doing a section of it about how advertising uh, can be so double speak somewhat. They'll say one thing, but it really means another thing. That kind of situation. So I picked on cruising. Why? Cruising is not doublespeak per se. I was trying to make an argument in my essay concerning about this one, Don. Cruising's been out there for a hell of a long while. I even tried to do some research about this one. I didn't realize the Germans were trying to capitalize on it originally. Tried to convert cargo freighters into passenger liners, and this. I mean, there were passengers sailing on board ships a long time ago, but they weren't cruise. They weren't for fun. They were just for transport. And I'm doing what they call a graphic essay on PowerPoint on this. I got you. I got Emma's Cruises, and I got him too, and the big Jenny B. I got the Tony Man. I'll probably send this one over to him anyway, and to Emma. When the instructor was talking about, we're going to be doing a graphic essay about this thing, and you guys need to start working in groups, I said to myself, I'm doing a solo act on this one. It'd be easier for me to do it anyway. And I can't rely on anybody else to do the work, so I'll just do the work myself. That way I can go nuts on it. And they really didn't have any. If I had brought anything concerning about cruising, they would probably talk about medicine bottles or anything else like that they would know of. Me, I talked about cruising because I'm a little bit knowledgeable about cruising. And listening to you guys for the past 3 or 4 years, I think I learned a lot more about it. So, I got a presentation due tomorrow morning. I got a few. Let's just say I've got a few drafts here. One a formalized one with a little special effects, and the other one just going nuts on it. I'll send you guys the ones going nuts on it. May not be specific to the essay, but I need the essay one for the class credit. And I already sent the instructor the material necessary for it anyway. And I had included, Don, your update concerning about Hurricane Lee. I'm letting you know about it. I wanted an example of what to expect on cruising is one of the drawbacks about it. How old King Neptune and whoever's control, was it Aeolus of the winds? Those mythological figures and creatures are screwing around with our weather system. Anyway, I just wanted to keep in touch, Don. I'm hoping you're doing okay. Just hang in there. Don't die on me yet, not until I meet you. One old fort to another old fort. You take care, pal.